secrets of the unseen? Welcome to EVP Explorations, the show that takes you beyond the veil and into the world of the unknown. Hosted by Todd Bates, a seasoned investigator and specialist in electronic voice phenomena, this is your guide to uncovering the voices of the dead. Whether you're a seasoned paranormal investigator or just beginning your journey, EVP Explorations brings you the tools, tips, and techniques you need to capture the whispers of the afterlife. From proper recording methods to incredible real-life experiences, this show is your gateway to mastering the art of EVP. Join us live every Friday at 8 p.m. Central on the Sacred Spiral Network as we explore the mysteries of the paranormal and teach you how to connect with the other side. This is EVP Explorations with Todd Bates. Tune in, listen close, and dare to discover what lies beyond.
Hey, good evening, everybody. Welcome, EVP Explorations, another episode here tonight. We're going to be talking about the history of EVP. That's going to be a lot of fun. I definitely want your feedback, so post your comments, get your questions rolling. The history, where do you guys think it all started? That's what's important. Where do you guys think it all started? Post your comments right there, Facebook, YouTube, wherever you're at. We'll get those here displayed. But what an amazing January 24th. Holy cow. I mean, the week has flown by. So many things. There's a lot of different projects I've been doing and everything. So I'm really tired here, folks. So bear with if I'm a little scatterbrained. But we'll get things squared away here. Big hellos to everybody. Hey, Mr. Chris Stant. Awesome. He contributes in the group a lot as well, which I'm going to talk about here in a moment with you folks here. Mr. John Swinky, how are you, my friend? And of course, Megan, the moderator, she is on the prowl. So guys, keep it respectful, keep it peaceful in there. Keep those comments down and keep the comments coming. They're important. Your feedback's important with these shows to keep them going, because it's what I believe is a free service. It's one of those where everybody should know the fundamentals of electronic voice phenomena and how to get out there, how to capture EVP. Everybody should know that good stuff. But some good news for you fine folks. Hi, Jamie. Oh, my goodness. Jamie and Jerry, hopefully you're doing good, hon. Hang in there. If you guys enjoy it. There's a lot going on over there at the website. The website's complete. I've talked about that a little bit on last week's show. I was on here for just about a half hour or so. Good evening, my dear, beautiful Sherry, who just had a birthday week this week. Make sure you throw her some happy birthdays. Oh, my goodness. What a fun day that was. But the website's had a lot of different improvements to it and everything for you fine folks. I've been listening to your feedback. It's got its own community up there where we can upload our EVP, the MP3 or WAV files, what have you, there in the forum section. You just have to sign up. It's free of charge. I don't believe in any of that spam crap, so you're not going to find any of that on there. Hi, Michelle. How are you? There's so much to do on the website. Be sure to check it out, evpexplorations.com. That's evpexplorations.com. And our discussion group. I am so proud of our discussion group. It's taking off nicely, getting some great conversations in there. And I try to throw topics in there that we can all discuss peacefully and try to find a solution to it, and maybe get some comparisons as well. So be sure and take a look at our EVP discussion group there on Facebook. It's under EVP Explorations, of course. But there's just so much fun stuff for you guys out there. And of course, if you need to contact me or anything for any EVP questions, I've been working on a file here for a guy named Robert. My goodness, has been, Robert, if you're listening, it's a doozy. But, send them in and I'll get to them whenever I can. I really enjoy going over these files with you guys and comparing some knowledge. So many things have changed, which we'll cover here in a little while. But so many things have changed over the years as far as electronic voice phenomenon. It's just back and forth. But we're going to have a lot of fun with it. You guys stay tuned. We're going to take a quick break. When we get started, the history of EVP. What is it? All that good stuff coming up. Stay tuned. More EVP Explorations on the way.
Are you ready to explore the unknown? Dive into the world of the strange, mysterious, and unexplained with EVP Expeditions magazine. Each issue is packed with spine-tingling tales, cutting-edge paranormal investigations, and exclusive insights into hauntings, cryptids, UFOs, and more. Whether you're a seasoned investigator or just love a good ghost story, EVP Expeditions magazine has something for you. Join our growing community of truth seekers and adventure lovers. Subscribe today at EVPExpeditionsmagazine.com and unlock the secrets of the supernatural. Are you ready? That's EVPExpeditionsmagazine.com, where the extraordinary is just a click away. Dare to discover.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. 5 minutes past the hour. So much to talk about with the history of EVP, and welcome to all you folks just tuning in. What I've done is I've put a link that will get you backstage here. If you guys have any questions, you want to talk about the history of EVP or anything EVP related, I'm going to play some samples here tonight as well for you. Be sure, hit the link. Now, you need to have Google Chrome installed to be able to get backstage here with me. You need to have Google Chrome installed. It's free of charge, of course. Just go search Google Chrome, click on the link, follow the instructions. That'll get you backstage here. We can talk some EVP history, which doesn't really go as far back as you think. I mean, of course, all the spiritualists brought the movement and so forth, and that's where you kind of got the funny pictures back in the day. If you guys remember the ectoplasm flying everywhere, you get some really wonky pictures, some really weird data back in the day. It was different than what we have today. So you got to keep that in mind. They didn't have today's technology as far as pixels and so forth. They were using tintypes, for crying out loud. There's so much that's changed since it was discovered. I believe it was 59. Of course, Jürgenson was the first to discover electronic voice phenomenon on a magnetic tape. And what an amazing find. You know, he wasn't even doing it on purpose. It was simply, he was a film producer and he was looking for some bird calls. Went to record some, captured the voice of what appeared to be his mother on reel-to-reel recorder that he was recording the bird songs on. And of course, that sparked his interest and then sparked the phenomenon itself. And it just exploded and has evolved over the years. Edison, of course, dabbled with it back in the day with his phone to the dead that he never completed. But as far as future is concerned, we'll talk about that as far as Staticom, Tony Rathman, and Ron Yacovetti, guys like that. My goodness. I mean, huge changes coming up here in the future for communication. But back in the past, people like that dabbled in it. You know, Raudive, he began to popularize it. Raymond Cass was another one that helped popularize it. Of course, these guys dabbled in it as well, quite extensively. And they tried different methods, even crystal diodes and things they would put into the devices to try to attract the spirits. And the equipment they used back then, the reel-to-reel recorders, I wish I had my hands on one. I really do. Me personally, I have yet to record with one. Of course, that's all Sarah would use, who very much popularized electronic voice phenomenon with the founding of AAEVP. It's changed to something else these days, of course, but so many people have been involved with it. And the reel-to-reel recorder, they were dead set on the magnetism of the recorder, which is the same theory I follow. The magnetism of the recorder, or the static electricity it generates, perhaps something attracts them, and they imprint themselves onto these devices. They were capturing voices left and right. And the equipment, of course, evolved. You had different bias tapes. For example, when the cassette generation came around, You transformed, reel to reels were great, but they were a little bulky and not very portable. So those evolved into something similar to what's behind me here, a cassette recorder, or even micro cassette recorders that we'll talk about here in a moment. But the average cassette recorder, at first, it had just your standard bias tape. That was a normal bias, a little noisy in the background. Later, they developed a high bias tape that reduced the noise, similar to a scratchy CD sound. It was pretty clear for a cassette tape. The micro cassette recorders, those are fun. Those are fun and interesting to capture any kind of voice with as well. And to me, they just work. They work on a different speed, of course. They're smaller, and there's just something about them when you do capture a voice on one of those little guys. It sounds much different, almost quicker. It's speedier. Like they don't have enough time or as much time to imprint, or I don't know. All I know is with those two different devices, the captures sound much different. And the cassette recorder evolves. It evolves into CDs. But see, you can't record on a CD back then. You couldn't really capture them. They were something new. Digital recorders were new as well. Now, when these guys came out, they were built to last. I mean, today's recorders, you drop them, they shatter in a million pieces. Those things back when they first came out, the RCA models, the RRD, R60 even, those things can take a beating. You drop them, they're good. They're made of stainless steel pretty much. They're titanium. They're encased. They were encased in metal, and they were very durable recorders. I had an RCA model for several years and captured several different voices. Now, when you capture voices on the digital recorder, it's going to be a lot different as well. So as history went on, you had less EVP captured on reel-to-reel cassette tapes. However, they were more prominent, more profound, easier to understand. Then it moved into the digital age, and you have simply more, but they're of less quality, see. So that's your difference with the two devices. Hi, Courtney. Glad you can make it, hon. So great to see you. So that's your difference with those devices. And you can pick and choose what you like. I just had, I talked with a few people. They want to, and they are, and oh my goodness, thank you for even doing this. They're out there recording with cassette recorders. One has a micro cassette. And they were asking me how they would connect it to the computer, which I feel is a history lesson in itself. So I'm going to tell you guys something real quick on how you can do that, just in case you want to get out there and try it with one of these devices and actually upload it to your computer in real time, which is what you want to do to get the rawest waveform from it. The best signal is to do it in real time. Now, to do that, you're going to need something, it's called a patch cable. Mine's pretty long, and it has the two male ends. This is an old Radio Shack. Now, these are brass tips to cut down on the RF interference and so forth, and you can get those with the brass tips, but you need something as simple as this, and you plug one end into the headphone port of your recorder, your digital recorder or your analog recorder. And then you plug the other end into your PC's or Mac's line in port. Now, if your computer doesn't have a line in port or a microphone port, you can get a PC a dime a dozen. You can get a work PC for probably $40. Fire that thing up, and that's all you do is analyze EVP on it. You have that and a copy of Audition or Audacity on there, and you're all set. You've got your computer all set for analysis. And you're able to do it. But most computers have that port, so be on the lookout for that. It's either a blue or red port that you're going to plug in the other end, and you're simply going to open that real-time file with Audacity or with Audition, and you're just going to hit play, and it's going to go right to it, and you can record in and digitalize that in real time, analyze it. And then when you're analyzing in real time, uploading it in raw format like that, you're able to see, you can actually see if an EVP is captured if you're watching that in the spectral view. So history has given us more technology. History has given us so many more ways to open these files further and investigate them further than what we used to have. We used to have nothing as far as software. It was all right there. You had to train your ear to hear and capture these voices. Now we can analyze them, amplify them. Less is more, though. Remember, less is more. And that's the future of going into this. And it's so incredible on how we've evolved as far as recording and just the technology about it. Michelle has a question here. She says, I have a friend that goes over to one of his female friends' house. He kind of stays there off and on, but he says there's something dark in the house. He says it only attracts him. Now, that could be a lot of different things, Michelle. That could be a spirit, of course. It could be something attached to him. Maybe he has an attachment. It could be a negative attachment. It could be a positive attachment. You don't know, but it could be one of the two. It could be something of that nature. And that's something you contact an investigation team. Have them come out and take a look at it. See if they can find anything there. I'm sure there's a lot of teams in your area. If not, get a hold of me. We can find a research team in your area to get out there for him. And he has real bad depression. Yeah. I've heard of a lot of cases like that where it attracts it. I hate to say it, but it does attract the negative. Depression can attract a very negative lurker. They're called an attachment. He could also get a hold of a good medium. A good medium will help him with attachments as well, Michelle. And hello, Tom. Great to see you. Thanks for stopping by. It's great to have everybody here. And if you have any questions, what we're talking about is the history of EVP, those of you just joining us. And if you have any questions, feel free to post them in the comments. I've also sent a link out there for anybody that wants to come backstage and discuss EVP history or anything EVP related tonight. Now, some of the different styles and examples and captures, I'm going to play some of those here after the break in a minute, where you're going to hear a class B example, and it's going to be it was captured on a cassette tape, and you'll hear another B example that was captured on a digital recorder. So you'll hear the differences of those and the technology, how it's advanced over time. Excuse me, just with, and I'm getting over a pretty wicked cold I had, folks, so bear with me there as well. But we're just going to take a quick break, give you guys another recording tip as well within the break. So you guys hang tight. More EVP explorations on the way. We're going to play some examples and talk some more history. Stay tuned. Get those questions ready. We'll be right back.
Brace yourself for the Paranormal Rockdown, July 18th and 19th, 2025 at the Haunted Broadhead Manor. Friday night, rock out with Dead Amsterdam, Left on Red, and headliner Green Jelly. The music may not be the only thing shaking these walls. Rumor has it the spirits love a good beat. Will you meet one? Saturday, meet paranormal legends like Dave Schrader, Sam Baltrusis, and more. Enjoy thrilling workshops, tasty treats, and a live Zoom Q&A with Dustin Perry. Dive into the ultimate paranormal investigation with expert guides. Or join a spine-tingling seance with Sam Baltrusis. Tickets are limited. Get yours now for an unforgettable weekend of music, mystery, and chills.
EVP Pro Tip: less is more. When analyzing your recordings, don't overdo it. Subtle enhancements can help, but over-editing risks losing the raw authenticity of those chilling whispers from the beyond. Keep it real. Keep it clear. Want to master EVP cleaning like a pro? Stay tuned to EVP Explorations with Todd Bates for expert tips that will take your recordings to the next level.
Hey, 20 minutes past the hour. Welcome back, everybody. EVP Explorations. I'm your host, Todd Bates here. Those of you just joining us tonight, we're talking about the history of EVP, how it's evolved, how its equipment's evolved, and we're about ready to play some samples of cassette captured EVP compared to digital captured EVP, so you guys can tell a difference. And we're taking your questions and comments as well, so let's post those right below there. Just get them in there, and we'll get them on screen. We'll discuss them here as well. And I want to thank a huge thank you out to my producer, Mark. My goodness, God love him. He keeps me in line with the shows, keeps me on topic and everything. He creates some of the best sheets to get me going, the best outlines and so forth, folks, to keep me on track, because I do get a little bouncy. If you guys don't know me by now, I get a little bouncy. That's what makes it fun. And hello, Paranormal Rock Down. You just saw the commercial. I don't know if that's Chris or Jamie or who that is, but hello to you and welcome. There's so many things we talked about at the beginning of the show as far as the history, so just hit the rewind button on the replay. Those of you guys on the podcast, there's no visuals tonight, so everything's good to go there. So you won't be as confused as you were last week when we had a few visuals. But what we did talk about were the audio patch cables and the things you guys needed to analyze your recordings. But what do they sound like? What's the differences? You know, there's and Donna, hi Donna, she's got a great point here. Cassettes get expensive since they can only be used once. I still use my mini, but not so often. Yes, that is the big downside to using cassette tapes, is you can only, hi Bonnie, you can only use them one time on one side. And it can be an expensive habit. Use it sparingly, but use it. Don't be afraid to use it. It helps you these days. You have to appreciate it more. Every cassette tape, you have to savor it. You've got to utilize every second on that tape that you can. Sure, you can get a pack of 5 for about $11, but that's 5 investigations, 5 different sessions, see, or more, depending on how long you do it. You know, there's so many different ways to get out there and record, but I've got some examples here, and I wanted to play these for you. Let me get down to them. Now, this first one, it was captured on a cassette tape. And this was set after we left the old schoolhouse, but that's, that's the fun part of these EVPs. You never know where you're going to capture them, what method. There's several different methods that history has taught us. The walking method, the question and answer method, the stationary method. The question and answer, which is the most popular. And as we all know, history does repeat itself, it seems to. And we're still evolving with these methods and trying to perfect them the best we can. But this was used, the method I used to capture this particular file was the stationary method. We simply left it on the floor and walked away out of the building, and we captured an EVP that appears to say something that, I feel what it says. But it's a class B regardless. But anyway, this is what a cassette capture sounds like. Okay, so you can hear a male voice saying something. I feel he says, "Come back." That's as we were leaving. But you may hear something completely different. That's why it's a class B. Now, the magnetics of the tape perhaps is what allowed this entity to imprint himself on there, or perhaps it was something static generated from the mechanism. We don't know, but that was captured on a cassette tape. Now, the difference between that and digital of course. A digital is going to capture something. It's going to be a little louder, sometimes quieter, but usually louder. Uh, it's going to have a mechanical sound to it almost. A digital, you're going to hear that background hiss. You're going to know that came from an analog, excuse me. An analog, you're going to know it came from an analog. You're going to hear that background noise. A digital is going to have a clearer, more clear background, and it's going to have, its words are going to be harder to understand. For example, this one was captured on a digital cassette recorder. Wait, this one here. So you can see the difference. The cassette recorder sounds like this. A digital recorder will sound like this. And that's how far technology has advanced over the years. To me, that's incredible on the two different ways you can capture sounds now. Before it was just through magnetics. Now it's through samples and so forth. It's advanced entirely. And of course, the future of it all, my goodness, that is exploding. There is an outfit. It is called Staticom, and be on the lookout for them. Ron Iacovetti, Lourdes Gonzalez, you have Tony and Sherry Rathman on this project, and they are making strides with communication. Finally, a breakthrough is coming with it. That's the future of it. And the future, back in the day, in the past, we always had to wait. We always had to have delayed conversations with spirit. We had to set up our session. We had to analyze the area, get it set, do a 5-minute session, go back, do a 5-minute, 20-minute analysis to see if we captured anything. And if we did, go back, do the session again, and communicate that way. And honestly, a lot of people got bored with that. I'm saying continue the fight with it. It does work. It is still effective. Don't give up on it. But there's other ways. ITC is made strides in the real-time communication world. You have real-time communication devices, spirit boxes. Now, keep in mind that is not EVP. That is ITC based. However, it is communication. It is real-time. You have the Estes method. That is a very popular method that a lot of people are utilizing out there these days. Again, geared more toward ITC than EVP. However, it's a controlled session, and that's what we need, are controlled environments when it comes to these recordings. We want the evidence to be as clean as possible. We don't want it tainted. So you want to keep it as clean as possible. History has taught us that. We must learn from that, not to taint it, because it was so easily tainted, especially these days. It can be so easily faked and manipulated. Be careful. Be careful of what you're recording. Note any natural sounds, folks. It's so important. It takes just a moment to note a sound. If you hear a car, a dog, somebody yelling, the neighbor, whatever, note that sound, a floor creak, any of it, because that could be mistaked as a false positive later. It would be terrible for you. You may get a creak in the floor, and next thing you know, you're telling the client to get a hold of an exorcist. You don't need that in your life, and they don't need that in their life. So don't bring it to them. Know your evidence. Take the time with it. With history and what it's taught us, as far as mechanics, as far as the way these voices are captured, we still don't know. We still don't know. We're not any closer there. But with trained ears, the more of us that are out there, the more of us that are doing this craft, it's important to train yourself to do this, to specialize in this if you can, because there's so much to learn, so many different facets with the paranormal field. How you doing, Greg? Great to see you, my friend. And less is more. History has taught us that as well. Let's not repeat that. Let's not complicate this any more than it needs to be, than it is already. The answer may be just extremely simple, folks. I think we may be complicating it. Let's just take a few steps back and reanalyze the situation, revisit it, use today's technology with yesterday's methods. Oh my goodness, we just may screw up and learn something else by trying that. Let's all talk about it, try it, get together, use it. You know, it's been a long time. It's been a real long time since we were real researchers, folks. I mean, let's face it. The world's getting faster. I get it. There's changes all over the place. Everybody wants everything now. We just don't have time, right? I mean, we're so busy, we just don't have the time to do it. If you're serious about life after death, you will find the time. You will make the time to do it. And it's important that you do it correctly. And you just don't go out there and just do it willy-nilly. It's not going to work out. Take the time. Take the time to upload your recordings in real time. Get the raw file. Take that time. You're going to be impressed. You're really going to impress yourself doing it that way. And you're going to appreciate it more doing it that way than just zipping it up there through a USB. Take the time, because you can pause that upload just as easily. Just pause it on the device. Take that device, hit pause. It's paused. And you can analyze that section. Hit play. It goes again. It does what you tell it to do. And if you need help setting that up, I'm right here to help you. There's many, many, many people out there that will take the time to help you set up a recording computer, whatever you have it on, a computer, a laptop. There's a way to set it up. I'll take the time, get a hold of me. You know, it's important that everybody has that. My goodness, Lee Warner, how you doing, hon? Great to see you. So, you know, I'd help you do that. It's important. I think everybody that's out there doing these recording sessions, you need to have a special place to analyze these, because like we're going to talk about next week, the science and paranormal theories. Science wants us to fail a lot of times. They think we're a little kooky. We're not. We're just trying things they wouldn't because, well, we can. You know, necessarily they can't do it. And hello, thank you, Carlo. Thank you. And we're not here to prove them wrong. We're here to figure out life after death and to try and figure out. We're out here doing the legwork. Science says it's pareidolia. Science says it's this. What do you think it is? What do you honestly think it is? Do you think it's spirit communicating with us, or do you think it's us just imprinting these voices on there ourselves? That's the question of the day. Has history changed? Have you evolved with EVP since then? What do you think it is? I'm curious. Post that in the comments. Do it later after the show. Send me an email with your thoughts. Think about it. You know, you don't have to answer right away. That's an important question. But what do you think it is? Yeah, those are the little things that we face. Now, it's going to be a little shorter show this evening, of course. There's a lot of things I've got to take care of here with the station and things. So bear with me there. But we're going to take another final break here. And we come back, we're going to wrap things up. And I want to tell you, fine folks, a few things on where you can get a hold of us and find us and all that. So stay tuned. More EVP Explorations on the way.
Introducing The Haunted Voice by Todd Bates. a powerful autobiography that takes you on an unforgettable journey through life's darkest struggles and most hopeful triumphs. From working as a corrections officer to finding himself behind bars, Todd's story dives deep into the battle against alcoholism and addiction, revealing the raw, unfiltered truths of hitting rock bottom. But this is not just a story of despair. It's a story of redemption, recovery, and hope. As a seasoned paranormal investigator and EVP specialist, Todd also opens the door to his chilling experiences with the supernatural, weaving together tales of the paranormal with deeply personal revelations. The Haunted Voice isn't just a book, it's a lifeline for those seeking recovery, a guide for those facing their own demons, and a treasure for paranormal enthusiasts. Available now on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Apple Books, The Haunted Voice makes the perfect gift for anyone looking for inspiration, guidance, or simply an incredible story. Order your copy today and discover the voice that refuses to be silenced.
Hey, 35 minutes past the hour. Welcome back, everybody. Those of you just joining us, you're catching the tail end of EVP Explorations. And I just want to tell you folks where you can find us. We've got a new podcast now. It's all been podcasted. Of course, thank you very much to Sacred Spiral Network for helping out with that. But you can find the podcast version. I do that about 30 minutes after each episode. And you can find that, of course, on all the podcast platforms, Apple, Spotify, Amazon, Pandora, all the fun stuff. Just search EVP Explorations. Of course, check out our website, our new website. I put the link there in the comments for you as well. And it's evpexplorations.com, evpexplorations.com. There's guides up there. There's a forum up there where we can share evidence. We can analyze each other's evidence, all kinds of information, blogs, there's guides. There's so many different things you can do up there. Even put in a cool dark mode for you fine folks. It's a lot of fun. Now, be sure and check that out, and check out our discussion groups. We have one on Facebook, EVP Explorations group, and our Discord group as well. Be sure and check out all those. Keep in touch with us, and if you have any questions, feel free, email those in to us through the website or contact at EVP Explorations. If you want it to come to me directly, you just send that to Todd Bates at evpexplorations.com. And I'll help you set up your computers, whatever you need for your next EVP analysis. Just get your butts out there and record. Get a patch cable. Get the thing. Just get a patch cable. Do it. Set it up in real time. I'll show you how. It's important. Don't let history repeat itself as bad. Let's make some changes here, folks. Use the past with with today's technology. Yeah, we just may screw up and learn something. Now, next week, we're going to be talking about the scientific and paranormal theories. So bring your thinking caps. We're going to have some fun with that one. So bring your thinking caps for that. And thank you, everybody, for taking time out of your busy schedules to tune into the live episode. Like I said, the podcast will be up here in about 30 minutes. So thank you. Take care. See you next week. Bye-bye.